Much speculation is abound, and a lot of people are starting to think, is self-publishing dead? Is self-publishing this? Is self-publishing that? The big question is self-publishing a good idea on Amazon in 2019? Well, you're going to need to stay
tuned.
Welcome to Self-Publishing with Dale.
And Kelly.
And if you want to learn how to publish books that sell and build an unstoppable brand, you've come to the right place. And tonight's a really rare occasion that we're jumping in on a Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is a little bit out of the blue, and there's good reason for it. Those of you can stick around, we're going to be able to give you some great news towards the end. And some of you already know what is up. And so if you're watching this on the replay, then chances are very likely you've caught this before it got midnight. Oh, there's a little bit of a secret here. We're going to say hi to the people here that are live that happen to be showing up. So who all do we got here, Kelly?
We got visitor. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your first name. Thank you for stopping by.
Ksenia, maybe.
Ksenia. Yang Bong, thank you for stopping by. Risa, hello. Katrina the lady writes, good to see you. And yeah.
Big banana stickers out to everybody who showed up live tonight. It was a bit of an impromptu section. And happy Cyber Monday. Did you get any good deals today?
I didn't spend a dime.
Didn't spend a dime, man. Shannon Vlogs, what's shaking? It's good to see you.
You're weird.
Banana sticker. Weirdos coming on here at 8 p.m. on a Monday. Yeah, you know it for sure. Because we're going to talk about, is self-publishing on Amazon a good idea going into 2019? Because we've heard a lot of speculation and scuttlebutt and things like that. So we start to wonder, is there any fact to this? So here's what we're going to do. Is we're going to kind of go through the facts about Amazon. I mean, Kelly, what is everybody knows this fact, first of all?
The largest online retailer is Amazon. Is it worldwide or?
I don't know, but we can say it's definitely one of the largest online retailers. We can say anecdotally that it's one of the world's largest online retailers.
Don't use big words this late. Okay, yeah.
All right. But we also know that they're not the be-all, end-all. Of course, there's other sources and there's other ways that we can, as self-publishers and indie authors, derive income. So, understand that there are other retailers. So we do have Amazon. We've got, what are some other ones we can publish our books on?
Oh, books.
Yeah.
The iBooks.
Apple Books.
The Barnes and Nobles.
Barnes and Noble Press.
The Kobos.
Kobo. What's your other favorite one?
Google's.
Google Play, yes. And there's so many other ones, which, by the way, if you're watching this in the replay, let's hear what you got for other retailers. I'm sure we've missed a few of them. So in any event, we've got that one there. So any rate, is it saturated, though? A lot of people go, it's saturated. What exactly does saturation mean, Kelly?
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. It's like pretty much it's just been filled full of a bunch of stuff. It's taken 10 pounds of crap and squeezed it into a 5-pound bag. And, the two of us actually kind of agree on this.
Yeah.
And no. I mean, it's really, yes, there are some. So give a good instance of some niche that might be saturated right now.
A cat
Cat shirts, but that's a niche for...
Oh, sorry, for ebooks.
Publishing shirts, I suppose, but...
For ebooks, what's a saturated niche? Just a general self-help. You really got to niche down because there's so many different topics in the world.
Yeah, and then there are other ones that are just ripe for the picking. You just got to kind of dig in there. And I can point out, to different niches and things like that you can test out. But, here's the thing. We've got some suggestions. If you are going to plan on giving this a stab, if you really want to make a significant income in self-publishing using Amazon and leveraging them, there's some good ideas and there's some bad ideas. And some of them are going to be kind of given, but indulge us for just a second. Tell us what you think is a good idea and a bad idea. So this is one of the ones that you kind of brought up earlier.
You got to be weird. Stand out from the pack.
Got to stand out from the pack. You got to be heard above the noise and trying to do the same thing that other people are doing it's, you're going to get lost in the shuffle. And I see so many people out there just struggling. And then when I go to look at what they're doing, and I'm like, first of all, you just took the same exact title as somebody else. You went and snatched their cover. You used exactly the same keywords, description, and everything else like that. Well, there's no way back.
Oh, Lordy jeez. Don't make me get on a rant right now. Go on to the next one.
Yeah, so here's one. Both of us agree on this one.
Oh, another rant-worthy topic.
Hey, let's
Quality.
Let's open it up. Quality. Listen, folks, just because you can do it in 5 minutes does not mean it's going to sell. Why? Because people don't like buying garbage.
People want good stuff.
They want good stuff. And yes, there is that shiny turd that every now and then takes off, and some people go, yeah, but that one. That is 1 in a friggin' million. You're trying to rely on a lottery ticket, for crying out loud. So quality. It may take a little bit more work, but it's worth it in the long term. I know that right now we can just address this because Kelly went on. I've already got the gifts lined up here right now because Kelly's getting ready to lose her mind. Speak on it. Quality. Why are people getting this wrong in self-publishing?
I don't want this to be all about me.
Yeah.
But when people hear that I have over 5,000 books, closer to 5,500 books out, and making, I did a 5 figures last December, like, oh my gosh, I got to get 5,000 to 6,000 books out so I can make my 5 figures. Listen here, folks, it takes time. If you're going to put out 5,000 to 6,000 books in a month or two, feel free. I hope you don't go into the insanity house because you will doing that many in 1 to 2 months. But it takes time. Put good stuff out and you'll be rewarded.
You can do it.
Time.
You can do it.
I can't say anything more on that one there. Rob Schneider did it. Just do it. Just do it. All right. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen, Kelly.
You just made the list.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So listen, this is one I can speak on. And I know that Kelly can kind of speak on this one. Passion-based. The thing is, if you can start to publish and produce content that you're excited about, that you're really genuinely interested in, that in the long run, whether you're getting paid good money or not getting paid good money, of course, you get paid good money, you're going to be happy for sure. But if you're not getting paid like what you were expecting, you're not going to be too disappointed because you were following something you're passionate about. So for instance, right now, I am working on a book based on self-publishing and brand building. In the interim, I've actually hired some ghostwriters on some other projects, and one of the things I'm really excited about is I like to talk about cooking. I'm real big about cooking, and I love saving money. So I'm gonna invest in that project. Now, whether it sinks or swims remains to be seen, but at least at the end of the day, when I'm done with this project, I don't feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I'm passionate about sharing this with audiences. I'm passionate about sharing this with people and changing lives in a positive way. So try to find those things you're passionate about. Do you want to add anything on that?
And your passions may come by accident. I had no clue I would be making money, a full-time income off no content books, which is something I enjoyed as a little kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll hit you sometimes when you least expect it.
It will. Sometimes it'll sneak up on you. Oh yeah, here we go, Kelly.
Shiny
Preach.
object syndrome. I don't know how much I can preach because when I see something good, I have to rely on my business psychologist to be like, no, dear, you don't do that. So there's new things popping up all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
The shiny thing right now is no content books. Next year, the shiny object thing might be Shopify again. And then it might be, 6 months ago, the shiny object was cryptocurrency. Now that's not talked much. So people love new things. It's in our nature. So it's really difficult to always go for something new. I know I love learning new things, and it takes every ounce of me not to do new things all the time. But to be successful in the business, you've got to put in the time, the hours. I think people say you need to practice something for like 10,000 hours to become a master at it.
Yeah.
Or just to start to become a master at it. So
to tie this all in together, is self-publishing a good idea? as long as you aren't just chasing after that next shiny object, kind of go back to the whole passion-based thing. You know, you can sit here and chase all these crazy trends, but like Johnny Andrews said in an interview not too long ago here on this channel, he brought up a great point in that if you keep going after those trends, you're like that hamster on the wheel that's going to be forever chasing after things. And you're going to get a great paycheck at one second, and then you're having to chase after the other one. So just try to find something, stick to it, and you're going to find that it will reward you in the long term. So here's the thing. The both of us can say this. Keep learning.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to keep learning in this business. I get people that call me guru. First of all, I don't accept that, okay? I am not a guru by any stretch. I don't chant upon some mountaintop. I'm just a guy that actually loves self-publishing. I'm an advocate for self-publishing because I believe it's a great model for people to do, regardless if you decide to go all in on Amazon or if you decide to go wide, which is one of my preferred avenues of going out there. But I continue to keep learning. You continue to keep learning. We keep trying to plug into things. And this is why I always recommend that you keep learning as you go along. Anything you can add to that?
And just back to the previous slide about like shiny object syndrome and sticking to one thing, just because you stick to one thing doesn't mean you have to do it for 10 years. Just try it. Try one thing for a year and see how it goes. But yeah, always keep learning. If you like learning new things, like for instance, my one thing is design, but there's many different niches I can go into for design. So it's good.
Yeah. So here's the thing is, you know, where and who do we rely on? And this is definitely not, I'm just going to be forward with you folks before we jump over into the questions, concerns, and comments. You know, there's a good purpose. This is Cyber Monday. And naturally, we want to make sure that we can send this out to you before we call it a day. The DIY publishing course. Some of you have actually gone through the course. Some of you haven't. This is actually a self-publishing course that I put together earlier this year. And I've actually had it semi-private for a while now. In any event, today we are running a deal over at DIYpublishing.biz. If you want to get enrolled there, what you do is head on over there and use the code Black Friday 2018. It's for a total of $99.85. Now here's the cool thing is you get the entire course. And part of that course includes, and bear with me here, part of that course includes the DIY Publishing Core content. You'll get to learn how to efficiently research niches, keywords. You're going to learn how to actually upload to different platforms if you haven't done that. You're going to learn how to optimize your listings and how to do the perfect listing and so on and so forth. And for the advanced course, this is where I really get down to the granular level. Everything from establishing your brand and getting out there, marketing and promotion, so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing. I have numerous testimonials, people that actually have gone through this course and it can actually attest to the fact that it works, okay? I'm not going to make any kind of bold claims that it's going to change your life, that you're going to make $10,000 in the first month. That would be wrong. That's not me, is it? No. But it will give you some of the stuff. So Kathy Mankin, great big shout out to her, Kathy here. And we're going to switch over here to the screen share. Coming right over. Whoa, look at that. Kathy Mankin said, Dale did it again. His knowledge and teaching methods are right down awesome. There are so many things I didn't know about self-publishing until I took this course. I can't thank him enough for putting this together. There's a lot of information to soak in from here, but Dale takes it slow, and it's like he's actually sitting right beside you, helping you along. I highly recommend this course to anyone. Raw Dog, good friend of the show, he actually, he is one of the people that has frequented here. He actually really is one of my shining examples of the best case scenario. He'd been following Dale on YouTube for quite some time before signing up for DIY Publishing. To be honest, wasn't sure he would be able to top his YouTube content since it's always been so thorough and helpful. I was wrong. DIY Publishing delivered way more than I expected. I followed the information in the course and was able to get my book to #1 new release, both paperback and Kindle, and generated over $300 in revenue in less than a week. Bottom line, the course works and paid for itself with one book in 1 week. I usually try and find something to critique when I leave reviews, but I honestly can't think of anything to critique. If I could give 10 stars, I would. Okay, folks, listen, okay? He's made an income claim, and I can say this right now, all right? That's his story. Not everybody's going to get that. Am I correct in saying that, Kelly?
Yep.
Some people will get more. Some people will get less. Rob Archangel, big person inside the community. Dale Roberts is a credible instructor for self-publishing, autodidact. Not really sure what you meant there, Rob, but at any rate, not only does he have the background experience necessary to speak with authority on the subject, but he's very attuned to the user experience. So there are many people that have come through and said, hey, look, amazing content for the value. So if you're on the fence and you're saying, I don't know, is this going to be something for me? Is this going to be not something to be for me? Listen, folks, our relationship, being you the viewer and me being the person on here, we don't ever have pressure on our end. Our relationship is not predicated on you buying stuff from us. But here's the thing. The shortest path from one spot to the next is a straight line. And to me, anytime that I want to have the opportunity to learn something, rather than grinding it out and trying to find all of the answers, I would much rather go to a person who has actually gone the path that I wish to go and get it there. Now, in the event you want to grind it out and you're happy with where you're at, understand this. You can pass on this deal, but I'm going to tell you this, and for those of you that are already in DIY publishing course, there will be upgrades coming in January and a big announcement at the end of December about the course itself. There's going to be new editions. Someone asked recently today, they said, is there going to be one on no content book publishing? Yes, there will be. In fact, there's actually unedited content right now that I've been sitting on for months, and it needs to just be put together and put up there into the DIY publishing course. And you're going to get all of that. And there's no strings attached. You are going to get unlimited access if you do purchase it today. If you don't purchase it today, it's totally cool. You will probably miss out, and then come January 1st on the launch, you will not see this pricing. I promise you won't see this pricing again. Yang, I appreciate you dropping a little 10 spot there, man. Nicely, big banana sticker for you, my friend.
Thank you, Yang.
I see Kelly over here smiling. You're smiling ear to ear. It's always Yang's keeping us entertained.
It makes me laugh.
So what questions do you have about self-publishing books, and what would you like to learn more of? What would you recommend? So I saw a few other people come in here. CV Interview Services. Ernest, buddy. It's great to see you, my man. Big banana sticker for you.
Oh,
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I forgot I had my microphone there. Color Your Way to Happy. Hello, Australian. David Winters. The straight line comment has me on the floor. I forget the comment. Shalana, I'm doing well with print versions of my guided journals. Sweet! But I'm really looking forward to upping my knowledge with your course for my fiction writing in 2019. Thanks again for the great deal. Hello from New Zealand.
Thank you for joining, by the way. I appreciate that, Shalana.
Yes. I think guided journals are going to be really good for the holidays over the next few weeks.
Absolutely. Yep. Speaking of quarter four, how's it treating you so far?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
It's doing all right, huh?
I don't know if I should say numbers, so it's
okay.
Pretty darn good.
Pretty darn good.
It's only going to get better.
That's good. Cover design with Emily. Emily, it's good to see you here. Mr. Wyan, it's good to see you. What's in Michael's bag? Michael, it's great to see you here, buddy. Stay off that hot and spicy stuff, man.
Oh, I don't know if he's still in here, but scroll back up.
Scroll.
Jason Morgan?
Where?
You went too fast. Jason Morgan. Hello, I just got banned for having 2 accounts.
I didn't even remember
I had another account. Amazon is so strict on that, but you could...
I would say try to appeal it, Jason. If you happen to be hanging out here any longer, you're going to have to probably push back beyond a canned response, because most people are going to be like, we're going to stick to this decision. You probably open it and maybe you didn't have any money from that, so you can just say, hey, look, it's completely slipped my mind that I had that. I had no intent of utilizing it. I would say just try to appeal, just keep pushing back. Worst case scenario is open a new account with a different LLC of some sort or a business entity. But I would say before you do that, just try to communicate with somebody at the KDP team. I plan on putting a call into the KDP print team here pretty soon, and maybe I can bring that up and find out what the best protocol is. Most likely they're going to say, get in touch with them.
Yeah, definitely get in touch with them. And if it does get to the worst case scenario, do not publish old content on your new account.
Yeah. That's a given. If you ever find your account is struck down for any reason, you're opening it up another one, you've got to start from ground zero.
I wouldn't even use the same pen names. Nothing.
Yeah.
The same.
So in any event, I'm going through here, luxury card store. I love my whole life by just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah, that's always a great idea. Katrina, I didn't see that you had slipped in here, I don't think. Raymond Kennedy was here. Sleepless in the Carolinas. Sleepless in the Carolinas is good to see you here. Alrighty, Ernest is, we already said something. Ernest Young. Call your way to happy. Hello from Australia. Nice, nice. Well, it's welcome Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. All right, Rob Hutchings. Hi, only here for a few minutes. 1:20 a.m. here in the UK. Work tomorrow. Regards, Rob Hutchings. Hey, Rob, thank you very much for popping in. Mary Vogelsong in the house. I just started the course and I'm so excited about things I'm going to learn. Ready for the next level. That's the thing is if you are ready for the next level, then head on over to the link for the DIY Publishing.biz and use the code for Black Friday 2018. This is good for the next 3 hours and 39 minutes. So I tripled my sales this month. Can I still expect this in December? I can't guarantee you, but based on my experience, yes. Yes. In fact, I always found year over year, it always starts at October. It's like, yay, November, yay, and then December, woo! And it goes all the way up till about December 25th, right around Christmas time. You're going to see a little bit of a drop off. It's going to drop just a little bit. And then come January, it kind of pops back up again real briefly. I find that especially in my niche of fitness and the other ones that are around that area, I see a huge rise in it. Because remember, people are buying Amazon gift cards. And naturally, what are people going to do with Amazon gift cards?
Spend them.
They're going to spend them. Yeah, for sure. Today's word of the day, folks, is pompous. If you've made it this far in the video, you know how to do this. Say this in a sentence. Put it in a sentence. Prove you've made it this far. So that is our thoughts on, is self-publishing on Amazon a good idea in 2019? My verdict, yes.
Yes.
All right. Waiting on Kelly's verdict. She's like, yes. So, all righty. Hey, folks, this has been an impromptu evening here. Remember, join us on our normal Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is the Universal Time -5, or Greenwich Mean Time, GMT -5. We're going to be here every Thursday. So if there's any questions inside the chat, let's go ahead and let's address those things before we do call it a night, because I'm feeling tacos. You feeling tacos?
I was feeling popcorn, but...
Feeling popcorn? I'm feeling tacos, so... Olaf from Russ in New Mexico. New Mexico, welcome to the party. Thank you very much for coming. Shannon Vlogs, LOL at Risa Faye. Guru Dale's so pompous. Oh, Risa Faye, you know what you're going to get. Yeah.
I'll take that.
Here we go.
Now.
Tossing her out to the left, baby. Get. Making fun of the guru thing. If Dale were pompous, he'd call himself a guru. There we go. Luke Carr, thank you very much for saying that. By the way, Luke Carr, welcome to the DIY Publishing family. I appreciate you joining our little crazy eclectic crew of people. I'll have to introduce you to a few of the people that actually had started with me earlier this year, including good friend of the channel. He's not here tonight, but I'm just going to go ahead and press the button anyways. Keith Wheeler! Happy birthday to him. Now, there's a good reason why Keith's not here tonight. It was his birthday yesterday? Today. Keith Wheeler, happy birthday. Expert Plumber, what is shaking? Oh my gosh, everybody's in the house. Got 37 viewers today, Kelly.
Cool.
Excited?
Sure.
Kelly's ready to ham it up. Anybody got questions for Kelly? Questions and concerns. Happy Cyber Monday. Can't wait to see my KDP sales to start showing up. Yeah, Nana Beth, me too. I've already seen a little bit of a bump in those sales. My stomach is a pompous, hungry monster. Mine too.
Last year I had slightly more sales in January than December. Ooh, I have a lot more books this year though. Last year was my first Q4. I'm excited right with you, Shalana, for sure.
I don't think you've yawned once since we've sat here today. Is it the change in scenery?
I don't know.
Folks, yeah, as you can see, I've actually brought Kelly over to my office space. So that's why she's actually in a portion of the living room space area. But this seems to work out. We didn't have to set up very much. All she had to do was come on over here. Is it worth publishing print books on Ingram Spark? Ernest, that is actually a great point. I can only tell you based on other people's opinions, and I've heard nothing but positive things about Ingram Spark. I will be, actually, there's a video coming out Monday that I'm doing the self-published book unboxing series, and a good friend of the channel, Audrey Levi, actually sent a book through Lightning Source, which is, of course, an Ingram company being Ingram Spark. Okay, now Ingram Spark and Lightning Source are kind of two different distribution avenues, but they still come from the same source as far as printing goes. So the quality is good. I'm going to give you guys a spoiler, but I've heard nothing but good things. Keep in mind, though, Ernest, first of all, you have to come with your own ISBN, so you have to buy your own International Standard Book numbers, and sometimes there's an upload fee. However, if you search around online, there's typically like a coupon code that they'll waive a first-time upload fee.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, look into something like this, folks. It's called the Alliance of Independent Authors. A former guest of the show and a good friend of mine, Michael Laron, actually had shared that if you are a member of the Alliance of Independent Authors, Ally that is, that they actually have a fee waive for any time you upload to Ingram Spark. You just need to come with your ISBN. So keep in mind you have to buy your own International Standard Book numbers. Expert Plumber, I guess you're amazing. I'm almost ready for it. How about you? Hey Dale, do you write outline for your books? Yes. Now, as far as my personal ones and the outsourced ones that I'll do for ghostwritten brands, I always do an outline of some sort. I have expectations that I have set. I find that I'm a good plotter and a pantser. I've got to have at least the skeletal works of something before I write. Now, I know you've written before. What's your methodology? You just blindly write? You pants it?
The only book I've written was when we were still in Phoenix. So it's been, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I did bullet points, and then I talked into Google Docs on my phone, and I just referenced each of those bullet points.
Well, you did fiction as well at one point. Or did you ever publish those?
Oh, I published them. I don't remember what I did for that. I think the fiction was just off the seat of my pants.
So, pantsing. I definitely would love to know, are you folks plotters or pantsers? Young says, please.
Oh, he wants Eric banned. I didn't know there was...
Eric Rosner even here?
I didn't know there was a word. I thought pantser... What?
I said, is Eric Rosner even
here? No,
here?
you talked about plotter or pantser.
Plotting is when you actually have to plan out every last little detail. Pantsing is when you fly by the seat of your pants. That's when you just type out as you're going along. Flow of thought.
Weird.
Plantsers unite. It's a good one.
Oh, is it pants or plants?
Pantsing.
Oh, okay.
She's mixing plotting and pantsing together, so plantsers unite.
Luxury Card Store has great advice. Jason Morgan, if you're still in here, make sure to read Luxury Card Store's comment.
Jason Morgan, blank to get your account reinstated. Search CJ Rosenbaum Amazon reinstatement here on YouTube. He's an attorney that might be able to help you. There we go, Luxury Card Store. Also, that's another perk of the Alliance of Independent Authors. By the way, I'm not getting paid anything from them. I'm not even an affiliate for their stuff. Plotter. Ooh, Shannon Vlogs is a plotter.
Nana Beth, do you think your sales this year are matching last year's or doing more or less? They're doing more.
Do you think you're on to shatter last year's record?
I don't know about shattering last year's record. I set a goal that I'm not sharing online. However, my merch sales are probably quadruple that they were last year. I know that for sure.
Mine's delivering like it usually does.
My KDP sales are up too. So who knows? I might beat last year's. I don't know. That's crazy.
I'm assuming maybe Eric Ross is Eric Rosner. Maybe. Unless there's another Eric Ross.
I don't know. I love using Google Docs for dictation. I would like to be a plotter, but more of a pantser. I still didn't know that was a word.
Yep, plotting and pantsing. Kelly doesn't listen to enough of my interviews, folks. Like, she never goes back and watches any of mine.
I know. I need to brainwash myself to learn how to write, and if I do that, I'll listen to your interviews.
When I do written books, I always type up each chapter title in advance. This gives me a direction on what to write, and I change each one as the direction changes. Yeah, there you go. That's good. So you're plotting, you're pantsing with a slide of plotting. So that's, you know, the funny thing is you're going to get some people from all walks saying, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. Do it the way that you can comfortably write and produce content that's going to be good and you can get it out. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying that first drafts are going to always be hammered garbage. Don't expect to actually have anything wonderful right out the rip. I, in fact, would say that, you know, you're going to have to eventually put lipstick on the pig. And then hopefully reach out to a professional editor that will help you polish it up and refine it so you don't sound like a, you know, a drunken, you know, college frat boy on a St. Patrick's Day in Louisiana, New Orleans. There we go. I'm sorry. I lost it. I lost it, folks. That was a really bad freaking metaphor. Psst. Psst. Chris Kirkland, what's shaking? Hi, hey everyone. I think it's a good idea if you are persistent and willing to work hard and push. Yes, yes, yes. That's the thing is, Kelly, how long have we been at this little game?
What game of Kindle publishing or working for ourselves?
Working for ourselves.
For me, it'll be 6 years in February.
Yeah. And for me, it was already just a little over 4 years. And folks, I got news for you. It was not the greatest thing for the first few years. It kind of sucked. I would say over the past like year to 2 years now is when we started seeing some kind of a breakthrough. So if you're the type of person that expects to like, oh, I'm going to get this hot niche. It's going to blow up my bank account. Okay, good luck on that one.
It could happen.
Could happen.
It
there
does
are people.
happen. It's just not the norm.
Yep.
But
Yes, yes. So it's going to take some time. Walker Publications for fiction. I start with a mind map to lay out the storylines. Ooh, good one. Mind mapping is a good one. For nonfiction, here's a suggestion: is mind mapping, similar thing. You're going to just brain dump. And when it comes to nonfiction, so whenever I wrote my nonfiction stuff, I wrote down everything I kind of wanted to squeeze into the pages. And then I would take and I'd formulate those into a sensible order and figure out, okay, does this belong and does this not belong? And I go through and I try to pull those things out before I go into the writing process. Because one of the worst things to happen is you write an entire 3 or 4 chapters based on something and realize, oh, that doesn't really fit. And you're kind of stuck with something. Pantsers comes from the early days of aeronautics when pilots flew without instruments in fog or other poor sight conditions. Very good to know. Very good to know. The only way they could tell if they were right side up is feeling the gravity as they sat in their seat, flying by the seat of their pants. Well, I'll be. Mary Vogelsong dropping some wisdom there. My method to my madness is research and pounce. Oh, yes. That's one thing that I think a lot of people get stuck on is they research.
I'm working on stuff right now this week that I researched like 6 months ago. And it's just hanging out there.
But here's the issue. We have our own in-house mastermind sometimes. And I think
sometimes.
We were walking to the elevator earlier and I came up, she told me this brilliant idea that she went and did on a shirt, or was it a shirt?
Pop socket.
Okay, on a pop socket, and it's sold. And I'm like, really? I don't remember saying that. So as soon as she says that, I just started rattling off other ideas to break off on that. And the thing is this household, we're never lacking ideas.
No, but I don't like unfinished projects. And if I'm going to start a new project in the new year, I need stuff wrapped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have really inspired me to push forward as an entrepreneur. Oh, it'll be 2 years in February, and I'm feeling like I'm starting to make some headway the past 3 to 4 months. Thumbs up.
Yeah. We like hearing things like that.
Yeah, thank you.
We're very proud of you, and a lot of you that come here and hang out with us on a regular basis. It means the world to us when you share your success stories, and also whenever we hear things like my account was shut down or I received a suspension. you know, we are definitely, we're definitely sympathizing, you know, with you because we've gone through our own struggles and still continue to do that. We're never going to make any grand allusions to the fact that, you know, some people are just like, oh yeah, I made $30,000 this month, and it's not always going to be beautiful friggin', you know, raining, you know, rose petals down from the sky. But, you know, we're really glad that whenever you guys are successful, you share it with us, as well as we are definitely listening when you say that you're having some issues. Thanks for all your videos. Ernest, hey, thank you. I always appreciate you tuning in. That's always a nice thing to see you here. Congratulations, Shalana. Great job, Shannon Vlog. Shannon, you're such a sweetheart.
Shannon, you are a sweetheart.
We're just going to bring Shannon in from now on. We're going to get her call in on the line, and we're going to have her cheerlead for us.
Yes. We need to go visit her.
I love seeing chat talking to each other. This is awesome.
Okay, question. Have you guys ever tried selling any books by getting them printed overseas and selling them on Amazon FBA?
I haven't, no.
I haven't. However, it's on my list to potentially learn next year.
Yeah.
First on the list is audiobooks, and then possibly Q2 or Q3, depending on how that goes next year. I want to look into doing spiral bound and hardcovers and selling them via Amazon FBA.
Yeah, this was something that Jason Brock, actually, we're going to have to say his actual name, Jason had suggested a couple years ago when we broke into this whole no content business. He had recommended, he's like, have you guys thought about possibly, you know, outsourcing the actual products and such, and then just drop shipping it, because, you know, he's a real pro at the drop shipping stuff. And you know, I started looking, but, you know, honestly, it was requiring too much of my attention at that time, so I just never followed through. So big shout out to Jason. Love you, man. Linda H, another Aussie in the house coming through. Yeah. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I just came out with my first children's book. Have you guys published any children's book? If so, what wisdom and advice can you give? Huge thanks. Well, first of all, Will Brown Art, appreciate you showing up. There is a banana sticker for you as well. Everybody's getting banana stickers tonight because it's Cyber Monday, baby. So in any event, yes, actually I have published some, and actually you can find it underneath Dale Lewis, Lewis. Unfortunately, I have to be straight up with you. It was one of those passion projects that I was briefly kind of on, and I got some bestseller stickers on it and whatever, and honestly, I just never went back to it. It was fun putting it together, but I never gave it the time and attention it needs, because children's books and most children's niches are really tough to break into, because first of all, you need to be attuned to what parents expect, because the parents are the ones that are going to buy it. It's not like a 3-year-old's going to be going on Amazon and buying their own freaking books. So you have to really have a good pulse for parenthood and what parents are looking for and how to speak to that audience. So I find I struggle that, because we, other than having a cat, we don't have any kids, nor do we plan on.
I mean, I have my nephews now, but I haven't published any children's books, and this is probably way down in the future, Will, but once you have it published, don't forget about audiobook. That's just what I've heard from paying attention, is don't forget about audio.
Yeah, don't forget about audio. So huge, 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 huge. Scribble says, what do you think about selling single issue comics on Amazon? Superhero, space comics, humor, worthwhile, seems tough. I have not tried comics yet. In fact, actually, a good friend of mine, John Celestri, I've actually interviewed him here. He's actually just got signed to a comic deal out of the UK. And I think I brought it up to him, and it sounds like it's a lot of work. You can get the Kindle comic book creator, I think it's what it's called. But unfortunately, my hands are tied on this one, Scribble. So let us know if you happen to break into that. I imagine that since it has different browse paths than the normal, like Kindle ones, there might be less competition, but you're going to have to obviously do more work. So if you are a person that's creative and you're able to do the art, or you can hire out without, you know, breaking the bank, then there's a good potential that you can definitely make some decent income over that direction.
Chris Kirkland, have you guys ever struggled to determine what subgenre your book should go into? Sometimes Amazon genres can be very broad and difficult. That's what has me thinking to convert to KDP for more options. What do you say? I know my answer.
Yeah, sometimes it can be tough for subgenres. I'll be honest with you. There's sometimes where I throw stuff against the wall and it sticks. Other times that it just takes a lot of research. So one of my personal stories is what my first breakthrough when it came to some of the fitness books a couple of years ago was going into a category that was relatively new. Keep in mind, Amazon's always adding and subtracting browse paths and categories. You've ever heard me call browse paths? That's what it's called in the inside there at the Amazon headquarters. But at any rate, categories are added and subtracted. There's literally tens of thousands of different browse paths for you to take advantage of. So sometimes it's going to be hard to find it. So if you continue to, on a regular basis, just do a little bit of research, dig around in other books, and you're going to discover some browse paths you weren't very aware of. So I stumbled on one about ab workouts. Ab workouts, literally, it was fish in a barrel. I went in and took over that niche. Now it's a fist fight, like, fight to the death. Michael Matthews will not budge off the top of ab workouts. He is just crushing it in that area. And another indie author, by the way, folks. What do you say about that?
I say it doesn't matter unless you're in the top 100, because I don't think people, unless you're in the top 100, don't search by categories and probably can't find you. So I would focus more on the 7 keywords. And then if your books start getting towards the top, then figure out the categories. But if you're just starting out, I wouldn't care about categories. That's my opinion.
Richard Hislop in the house, buddy. It's good to see you. And Will Brown Art, thank you. I appreciate the avocados, the mushrooms, the peppers. That's some of our favorite stuff right there. Chris Kirkland, go ahead and read what he has to say.
See, I'm nervous to do my own audiobook because I think I can do it since I imitate voices and I do voice acting on the side. Then do it! But I think I'd be better to get friends to do separate people. Go with what your gut says. Yeah. I mean, if you have experience doing voice acting, I say go for it.
For sure.
Before, there's some other things. Yeah, a couple people want to know about spirals. Luxury Card Store says try instantpublisher.com. The only thing I know right now about spirals, obviously Redbubble has the print on demand. Lulu does it, which I think integrates with Shopify. And
it doesn't integrate with Amazon, folks. But if you're looking for spiral bound, if you're just looking for the way, you're just going to have to figure out how you're going to be able to provide it to your audience.
And there's potentially get that on Etsy. It's going to be a while before I look into it. I said Q2 or Q3. It might get pushed even further back. Also, because it's physical versus e-products, I also have to talk to tax people. So it might not even be till 2020. I don't know. Has anyone published quiz ebooks?
Quiz ebooks? Actually, I know a few people of the channel here. I'm going to go ahead and give it Rich Jepson, not to be confused with Richard Hislop. He does a whole series based on quizzes and such, and this is kind of quiz trivia type thing. It's actually kind of a fun book. So yeah, you can do it for sure. I definitely see that it's possible. Just dig around the niche and see if there's some kind of a demand for it before you fire off a bunch of money into it. Audio for children's book. I have a children's picture rhyming book, but it only has 20 pages in it. It would be too short for audio. Not necessarily. If you can have it like a few minutes long, that's the thing is, think about reading it to a child. So you're going to want to be very deliberate. And also, here's a little bit of a tip. See, when I was a kid, I actually had numerous records. That's right, records, folks. It was like these round discs. You put it on like a record player and you put like a little needle on top of it and it made sounds. It was great. I actually had numerous records, collections of actual children's books, both from the 45 standpoint to the full, vinyl. And I had some for Dr. Seuss. I had some for Disney movies like The Fox and the Hound, I can remember. Where the Red Fern Grows was another one. I remember all these ones I used to put on the record player, and they were short. They were literally like just a few minutes long. Some of them, some of them were a little longer, but nonetheless, I would say don't blow it off just yet. Think about, well, how can I be able to take a 20-page manuscript and maybe stretch that out into like 5 to 10 minutes. It could be adding in additional voices. It could be adding in sound effects. I think Insider Terms is like a Foley, I think is what it's called. But either way, you can put sound effects in it. You can try to create an immersive environment for the children that are going to be consuming that later on. So you just got to kind of think outside the box.
Let's see. What other questions? I'm starting to get hungry. Kyoto Pearl, how do I as a self-publisher prove to Amazon KDP that I own publishing rights to my own content without filing copyrights for every single book I create? I just publish, and then if they ask, I respond saying I have rights to this.
Right. It's a poor man's copyright's what it's referred to. You can go spend a little bit extra money and do it, but essentially unless it actually goes to a court, you really don't have too much to worry about it. There are very few occasions, and then there's different ways that they're able to track who actually was able to publish this first, who wrote it first, because essentially anytime it goes from here down into electronic form is when the copyright's filed. Tim Knox actually has a great video about this on his channel. Search that up on YouTube, just how to copyright books. And I believe Julie Broad might have something on book launchers, as well as Rob Archangel on Archangel Inc. So something to be aware of, not weary of, well, that too.
Could you do Lulu with a seller advantage account? I didn't realize it didn't integrate with Amazon. It's the only one I've looked into. Base prices were okay, more than Perfect Bound, but expected. The advantage is interesting, Shalana. I was just looking at that last night, but it got way too confusing for me. I didn't look into it any further. It seems like, in my opinion, Advantage would work because it seems like they just purchase it from a wholesaler, and they didn't say who the wholesaler had to be, but I haven't done it myself, so I'm not for certain.
Yeah, and bear in mind too, by the way, folks, that if you do publish your Lulu, you still have distribution to Amazon. It's just some of their products aren't. Like the Spiral Bound isn't available there. Calendar doesn't go over there. And Chelsea Bennett described this to me. She's the PR rep from Lulu. She pretty much said that Amazon's able to fulfill only certain print orders based on how the actual equipment they have. So they don't have spiral bound equipment, and they don't have any kind of calendar presses or anything else like that. So they're only able to fulfill certain print runs on Amazon. So be aware that you can still do that. So when it comes to like a spiral bound, that's a good idea. It's not a bad idea. You can probably get an Amazon Advantage account and try to self-fulfill it. For me, I don't want to go through that extra hassle of having to either A, keep a garage full of books, or B, having to drop ship it every single time I got an order.
Dwayne Gill, this is what I freaked out about. Is the new release promo on BookBub worth it? It costs $850.
You haven't heard of BookBub, huh? Okay, so
I have heard of BookBub, but $850 for a promo seems outrageous.
That's nothing. Actually, that's actually tame compared to some of their stuff. So when it comes, there's actually two types of ads on BookBub now. Because back in the day in BookBub, you would this still is this way. You have a book, and it's going to be up for a deal. Let's say it's on sale for 99 cents, or it's free, and you actually have to apply to BookBub. And they have to approve you to actually use their platform. And then from there, typically like to run, and they have like an email database that is just freaking so deep, hundreds of thousands of niched readers. So they're reaching an actual audience. In any event, it can cost hundreds of dollars. And I've heard some people have lost big time in doing some of these ads, but then for the most part, I usually hear that a lot of people win big time on it. Bigger time. Paul Rega, guest of the show previously, actually has had great runs on there. I think Martin Crosby as well. So BookBub, it's going to be a gamble, but much like anything in advertising and promotional work, it's going to be a gamble. I got to tell you that right now, I tried BookBub early on. They denied me, and I haven't gotten over the rejection. BookBub, what gives? The second type of ads is you can actually go into BookBub and do a pay-per-click ad. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. They will put out something, and based on the number of clicks is what you'll pay per click. I don't know. I haven't used it before. If I'm going to do a pay-per-click ad, I'm just going to go through Amazon advertising. That's just my personal opinion. If you give me $350, I can be able to take that and flip that over on Amazon advertising, easily break even, if not double that number. That's just me personally, though. Teddy Ruxpin looks weird nowadays, Risa said.
Well, she said earlier, this reminds me of Teddy Ruxpin. I haven't seen Teddy Ruxpin since childhood. Hello, Walter Wayburn. Thank you for stopping by.
Walter Wayburn, what's going on, buddy?
What's your thoughts on paying Amazon to run ads advertising? Is it worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, this depends on products, though. I have not had good success with running Amazon advertising on no content books. But for my nonfiction book, and to a certain extent my fiction books, I even did it on my children's book at one point or another. They can be really good, but it's going to take a little bit of time. And I would recommend great resource, Marco Motino. Just absolutely slays it when it comes to Amazon advertising. I actually interviewed him twice on this channel and even reviewed his AMS Ads Profit Formula course. He gives away stupid good information that if you utilize this for your Amazon advertising campaigns, you should be able to see a good return on your investment. I can't guarantee it, but I can say this, that I took a lot of his ideas and I put those things into practice, and it worked really wonders. And if you're tight on a budget, you can always go to kindlepreneur.com and pick up his AMS course. That's free, 100% free. He markets his KDP Rocket for the most part, real briefly, but outside of that, it's a 5-day course, well worth it because it doesn't cost any money.
Richard Hislop, do you guys try to drill deep in a very specific niche you want to stake some claim, or do you usually try testing a book first in that niche based on a profitable keywords to test first?
Go ahead.
Personally, he has a second question, but answer this.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm talking from the no content book side of things and merch, I do roughly 3-ish books if it's a new niche, and I'm going to see how it does. And then based off that, and if I feel like the sales are good, I'll do more. What about you?
Yeah, you're on the money. Here's what I focus on is, yeah, you can find those profitable keywords, Richard, but I would recommend that you look more into more broader senses of find the audience, what's their problem, and how can you give them a solution. So think about the niches more specifically. So yeah, I try to find that niche and I try to identify it, and then I build profitable keywords around there. Because here's the thing is, keywords for the most part are not evergreen. They'll always change. The way people identify certain things will change and rotate out. There are exceptions to the rule, like evergreen type content, like St. Patrick's Day or Christmas, things like that. But for the most part, trends always change, and so do keywords. And that's the thing is, people are going to be searching up one way at one time, and they're going to be big the next. So for instance, workout plan was gigantic a few years ago. Nowadays, it's a keyword that's not really drawing, but the niche is still killer. So you just have to attach keywords that are going to draw people into that specific niche right there. So hopefully that helped answer your question. I seen Gord Eisman slip into the house. What's up, buddy?
Yes, Gord. Hey, buddy. I forgot to say hi earlier. Richard also says, have a lot of ideas. How do you decide what to publish first? Welcome to the world of self-publishing. Yep. If I have, let's say I have a list of 10 things. Maybe you have 10, maybe you have 100. I kind of see what interests me first, and I also see what the competition is. If I have, a list of 5 things, and let's just say one of them is cats and one of them is a niche that has hardly any competition. If it has hardly any competition and I enjoy it, I'll go for that one first to get confidence and a bigger paycheck. What about you?
You pretty much just described everything. I'm just gonna say yeah. I honestly, Mike Tyson need to laugh about that one. It's really what it comes down to. I just try. There's a lot of ideas, and what I would recommend, Richard, I know you do this already. Get yourself a good journal, okay, and write these ideas down. Physically write them down if you can. If you are the type of person that wakes up in the middle of the night, has ideas, I would recommend maybe if you've got your phone by your bedside, have some app that you can type it in really, really fast. and you're going to want to come back to it every now and then. It's a good problem to have a ton of ideas, because there's a lot of people that come to me and they go, what niche should I publish in? You know, I don't know what to publish. What should I? Here's the idea: is write the ideas down. Write them down, okay? And here's the thing: is some people just honestly, they don't have that creativity muscle. And that's the thing is, former guest of the channel, Adam Wilbur, actually, you know, is big about creativity, and his process and his thought process that he actually goes through when it comes to creativity, it is a muscle, it is a skill that you have to refine over time, and you have to do it on a regular basis. So you might be dry on ideas right now, but if you can try to just come up with new things on a regular basis, you're going to find that it's going to become an avalanche. So good problem to have, Richard Hislop.
I would say, you know, piggybacking off that, I hope this doesn't become rant worthy. If you're that person that says, I don't know what niche to publish in, figure out how to find niches, and don't ask people that you know have sold books, oh, what niche should I publish in? I'm not sharing with you my best niche. Sorry. And also, just because I make good money in a niche doesn't mean you're going to make good money in a niche too. For example, bullet journals are super popular. I have a few out there. I can't get them to sell worth a darn. But one of my networking friends up in Canada, she has #1 bestsellers and still does. And I'm like, for Pete's sake, I know about the niche, but can I make hundreds of dollars? Oh no, I'm lucky to make $10 with bullet journals.
It's true.
Okay, off soapbox.
Yeah, you know, Kelly is, you know, it's the same thing works in this household. I mean, Kelly can crush it on a specific niche, and I don't do worth a darn. I'll try it out, be like, and then vice versa. So it's just, you know, it's going to take some time. At any rate, yeah, that's what happens when you ask, you know, what niche should I publish in to Kelly? So watch out for that question right there. George Steffen said, can you salvage the content from a very short book that flopped and try to publish a completely new book with different cover, title, and more content as based on what is in the short one? Or should you just edit the old one and try to revive it in some way? All right, so this is where we get into some dangerous territory, because there were some nefarious individuals out there that used to take advantage of publishing and republishing the same stuff over and again. So what ended up happening is Amazon started to train their vetting device to pick out these people and these type of books that are repeatedly being used over and over and over and over again, because they're trying to game the system of the 30-day time period of the hot new release. So in any event, Kelly says taco time, by the way, folks. That's what it says down there. Can you do it? Yes. If I were to recommend anything, is release it as a second edition. If you change the title, make sure you list it within the copyright page that this is the second edition of X, originally published on X date with this, this, and this. Avoid using the original ISBN in there because it sets off bells and whistles there as well. Just stick with the new ISBN if you put it on your copyright page. But can you do that? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Just make sure that if you do unpublish or delist a particular book that wasn't doing well and you go to release it again, be prepared. There might be some pushback by Amazon because there were some people that ruined it for everybody. So I would just recommend you go to release it, make it a second edition, or if it's a third edition, so on and so forth. Just remember that you don't want to publish the same exact content trying to game the system, because I promise you they will flag you and they will stop you for sure. All right, now it's my bestseller. I did just that. I must have missed all the other ones. Wow, I got a banana. Yeah, Walter, you got a banana. Preach, Kelly. Seriously though. Kyoto Pearl says sales are good, but they will continue to climb to the end of the year in your experience. Kelly?
It depends on your niche. I mean, one of my top sellers right now, I did in, I want to say October or November of last year. So it just depends. And no, I don't do advertising.
George, thank you very much for asking the question. Kyoto Pearl, when does Q4 start to decline in sales? My first year. Okay, it starts to drop off right at Christmas week. You're going to start to see like closer to like Christmas Eve. It's going to...
I would say like the 23rd-ish, because people can still get their stuff, you know, one-day shipping. So 22nd, 23rd. Because Christmas, I think, is on a Tuesday. So I don't know when people need to make their, since it's a weekend, I don't know when people need to make their last order.
So it's going to vary from one week to the next. You know, for the most part, though, we've always discovered like the week surrounding Christmas, it starts to, it'll dip down. And then it's probably like on January 2nd or 3rd, depending on the first full business day, that you'll start to see and sometimes the sales kind of bottleneck. I've discovered that sometimes where I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And then all of a sudden, boom, it'll just all of a sudden just shoot up and you'll see like just a huge influx of sales. So that's at least been my experience. I'm sure it varies from one person to the next. If it's your first year, I don't want to deflate or discourage you in any way. My first year in Q4 was nothing like what it was over the last couple of years. Nothing. In fact, you know, a couple of years ago was when I had really started to kind of dig in and get things kind of going. And when I started seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh. And we're kind of like showing each other our dashboards. And then she shows me her dashboard and I started to weep. And I was just like, I'll go wash the dishes.
But if it is your first year, just take notes of your experience and remember what worked and what didn't work for the following years.
Denise Whitmer asks, do they flag low content like that? Question mark. Ugh. So here's the thing, this is unexplored territory. Low content book and no content books on KDP print. CreateSpace, they didn't. CreateSpace allowed a lot more. They were more lenient with some other things. I'm not saying that you could have pushed them over because I knew many people that got the CreateSpace accounts banned, but for the most part, no. But it's so soon to see. And the way that things are going right now with people just going absolutely buck wild over publishing complete garbage on the market with the no content and low content book stuff, it's going to be a matter of time before they go everybody out of the pool and they're going to start to, hey, $2. Thanks you two for the content. Dwayne Gill, I thank you for the 2 spot. I appreciate that. You get 2 banana stickers, 1 and 2.
It's going to be tough with flagging low content because we're playing in the same pool as, you know, journals is $1 million, if not billion-dollar industry, and we're playing in the same pool as novels and books. Yep. So it's going to be, you know, I'm not saying that Amazon can't do it. It's just a really tricky situation. You know, it's different, you know, with t-shirts versus books, but it's all the same platform.
Loving the banana stickers. Keep those banana stickers coming. I saw some taco emojis popping up here. A few recommendations for indies. This is Dwayne Gill said, hidden gems, cover design, editing, Readsy for everything. Support for indie authors, offers beta reading and editing. I did not know that. I've heard of Readsy, but I wasn't aware of that. So thank you very much for that plug. That was really awesome of you. All right, well, guys, gals, folks, everything else. Look, there is literally 3 hours left in the day here right now, and I'm just going to backtrack here just a little bit. Remember, if you'd like to get your hands on the DIY publishing course, you have one last shot here to do it. You got to head over to DIYpublishing.biz. It's got all the information there, and you're going to use the Black Friday 2018. You're going to use that code on checkout. So you're going to end up setting up an account, and it'll go in there and ask you for the payment information. The total is $99.85. Literally, it will not be this price again, ever. And I have big news for those of you that are already in the DIY publishing course. It's going to be coming out at the end of December about what's going to happen in January. And those people that join me in January, all right, when I open the course back up, I'm telling you this right now, you're going to lose out big. Good night for sure, everybody. I really do appreciate you spending your Monday night. Now, this was a great idea. Oh, my Lord, there's a lot of people even just kind of hanging out here. But in any event, in the meantime, hey, if you enjoyed today's stuff, you know, obviously share it with somebody and hit that little thumbs up. And of course, check out these other videos. You don't want to miss out on these videos because, you know, it's got all the good stuff. You don't want to miss the good stuff, do you, Kelly? I don't. Yeah. All right. Deuces, everybody. We appreciate it.